Hi and welcome back to Details. I'm Dee Murphy and today we are going to be prepping this beautiful little 1.6 Golf for sale for its owner. It's going to be a nice short video today. I'm going to do a light kind of chat through of what we're doing, and then from that I'm going to do a little bit more detail into what kind of photos you need to take to help sell your car privately. We're going to take 2 seconds to walk around the car, but before I do that, please hit that like and subscribe button and the notifications bell. It really helps me out, please. As also, in the comments section, let me know what you guys would like to see or what you'd like to hear from me in this little YouTube adventure that I'm going on. So let's take a look at the car. Alright, so in my previous video, which is in the description, I chatted before about the different approaches for alloys and for our hubcaps. This little car has the plastic hubcaps, so we're going to be treating them slightly differently to as we would normal cars. Overall, the paint's actually very solid. Silver is that forgiving colour. It does hide a lot of sins, but we're still going to take good care of it today. There's a little bit of fallout here, as you can see from the tree, so we're going to probably attack that with a citrus cleaner to remove the tar first of all, and any of the tree sap. From there, we're going to go around and give it a very good scrub, get all the kind of daily grime off it. We're going to treat the tyres, although it does have hubcaps, we can still get the tyres looking really great. Inside, it's lovely and honest. It's been really well cared for, especially as a family car, but we're going to give all the interior a nice treatment, get the cloth interior looking as clean as possible. It is a bit of a balance. You don't want to go mad with wetbacks because it is a usable car, so we're not going to wet vac this today because then the seats are out of action for a couple of days properly to dry, but we're going to give it a good vacuum, and we're going to give the spots that really need treatment a bit of a specific soaking with kind of an enzyme kind of cleaner, which will help that. But anyway, enough chat. We're fighting daylight, so let's get started. Hopefully that time lapse has worked okay, because that's pretty much the boring pit. It was just a little bit of pre-clean, which I chatted about in one of my 2 previous videos, and let it sit for a couple of moments, and then whilst I was sitting, did the wheels and then power washed that off. That's the kind of stuff you don't want to let dry. Outside of that then, let me just fix my camera so I'm not bent over like a hobbit. The front of this car, I'll do a close up in a second, is actually pretty bad in terms of the dead flies and fallout. Just with the weather getting slightly better, stuff's got baked in. So what I'm going to do is a slightly more concentrated citric cleaner. That's going to really break down the actual kind of bug goo without actually damaging the paint. So that's going to make it removing it a lot easier later on. You can buy this anywhere. Usually it's called like fallout remover or bug remover is actually what it's called. So we're going to do that just around the front of the car. The rest of the car doesn't need it, so there's no point wasting product. Let's get this on. And I am confident to say that this has literally been sprayed on for a few seconds, and I'm going to find a nice, particularly gooey bit of bug. We'll see it, hopefully there you can see this in the camera right here. That's welded on, but after 2 or 3 seconds, literally a little bit of light finger movement on it, it'll just start to break down. I'm going to leave that for a few minutes. Actually, you just want to really work the front of the bonnet, but see here, even with the kind of the old residue, that'll just come off instantly. So we'll just leave that on, and whilst that's doing that, we're going to treat the wheels with a proper wheel cleaner, and then we will start to actually wash the paint. This car is going to turn out lovely. So as that bug cleaner is doing its stuff, let's focus specifically on these wheels. Now, they're not too bad, you can actually see that, but maybe you can pick this on the camera. The wheels look black, hey, brilliant, but you can see where they're starting to dry. They're already starting to go brown. That's just where it's just ground in dirt. So we're going to use a specific non-caustic, that's the word I like to use, non-caustic wheel cleaner. We're going to spray this on, let it sit for a couple of minutes, and then with this being a plastic hubcap, I always say you never want to use any form of acidic cleaner, but on plastic you really don't want to use an acidic cleaner. And hopefully you can see already, maybe the light's going to catch it there. You can actually start to see, my finger picks them up, maybe it can, that horrible brown. You think your tires are clean, but they're not. Not all wheel cleaners are equal. Some can work on tires, some can't. I'll put a link in the description of the one that I would use. It's a non-caustic, pH neutral wheel cleaner. It's called Cleanse by ACAM. As always, Ross, hit me up. From that, you can spray it on tires, you can spray it onto plastics, you can spray it on to a spider, apparently. That's there. And I'm actually not going to even agitate the plastic because I think it's clean enough from our first spray down, but I am going to give the tires a little going over on camera, just to let you see the difference an actual tire cleaner can make. That's had a literally, what, 30 seconds, 40 seconds. Jump into our clean bucket, grab a little detailing brush, and wait till you see what comes off this tire. So you think your tires are clean. Hey, I keep using tire slick and my tires still end up brown and minging and stinking. Yeah, that's why. Something like this, if you're selling a car, makes a big difference. We're not going to worry about the hubcaps getting dirty again because this stuff isn't stuck to it. It's just going to power wash clean off. But if you're washing a car, or selling a car, I should say, I mentioned it slightly in my last video, if your tires are slicked, wheels or hubcaps are clean, even if there's little marks on them, don't worry about that, and the glass and the interior is clean and smells fresh, you're halfway there. I'm going to do a little tutorial at the end of this video and then turn it into a bit of a short on how to take good photos when you're selling a car, because there is a difference between good photos and bad photos. So anyway, I'm going to jump on with this, power wash this off. You don't need to see that, you've seen that many times before. And then we will start to hand clean the paint. All right, so we have our tires and wheels cleaned down now, and they're starting to look really good. Hopefully, as you can see, they're starting to dry. We don't have that horrible brown drying. The citrus cleaner is sitting on the front. I've rinsed that lightly, not to let that dry. The car hasn't been touched with a mitt yet, but what we're going to do first is we're going to snow foam it, because everybody loves snow foam, and then we are going to attack it with the mitt. Two things I'm aware of. Recently I've been saying okay or so or here we go quite a lot on the videos. I'm going to work hard on that, forgive me, I'm new to this. But also I've been doing this weird thing, and I don't do this in real life, just YouTube land for some reason, where when I breathe and I tend to go, I'm going to work hard to try and stop that after this one. So the 1.6 Golf, a few little things about it. This is a late 2009 version. It's a 1.6 petrol engine. I'm not going to bore you with all the details because it's a Golf and everybody knows what a Golf is and what a Golf does. This one's a little bit, this is the entry-level kind of family one. Not to say there's anything wrong with that. It's a 102 brake horsepower engine, little 5-speed manual box. It doesn't have the DSG, but why would you at this level? Outside of that, they're renowned for their build quality. There's that classic advert where you just know it's a Golf by the way the doors close. This does have that door closing noise, just that ka-dunk, that you know it's a Golf. Outside of that, guys, there's not a huge amount to cover off with this little car. It is a nice entry-level spec, but they are trying to sell it, and it's a perfect first car. It's not overly quick, easy to insure. It's going to be easy on the fuel, and it's going to be relatively light on mechanicking and cost because it is only a little 1.6 petrol, so it's not a turbo diesel with turbos and DPF filters and EGRs and all that random stuff. It's a really easy first car, and it's going to photograph lovely at the end of this. But anyway, enough yap. There's not a huge amount of kind of detail in our stories to cover with this little car. It's a 1.6 Golf, it's in the silver, it's entry level spec, but it is a perfect first car. So I'm going to focus a little bit later on how to take a good photo. Okay, so at this stage the car has been treated with our foliate remover, our citric cleaner, the bug remover. Wheels and tires are now cleaned. The paint has been hand washed and it's now drip dry. Again, the context of this wash, it's not like a full detail where it's the owner's pride and joy and they want to look after it forever, they're looking to sell it. So we're going to go down that avenue for cleaning the car. What we're going to do is we're going to seal the life out of the paint in essence. We're going to use Cockhem kind of hydrophobic sealant through a snow foam lance. We're going to let it rest for 3 or 4 minutes. Then we're going to power wash it off. Then you'll see in the next little clip, I'm going to be using like a quick detailer or the coagulant that I mentioned previously. What that's going to do is going to help me hand dry the car. At that point then we're done with our paint and treatments. The reason we're doing that is with silver, it's not an easy car, or not an easy color, I should say, to have like a high reflection. So whenever you got a silver car, and someone who owns 2 silver cars, what you want is that gleam, and chemical hydrophobic sealants tend to help that gleam rather than the deep wet look that you see in black cars or dark colored cars like red or blue and so on. So we wanted to have a nice gleam off it, which the chemical treatment will help. Also then, if a customer or potential buyer comes to see it on the day and it's rained, we're going to get that beautiful water bead on the paint that gives that look of a highly polished, well looked after car, which which this car has been. So that's why we're going to use the chemical treatment rather than the hand wax. It's also time constraints because we want to focus on the interior as well, because that matters when you're selling a car. But anyway, back to the time lapse and I'll get this done. Lots of thought process when it comes to drying a car. If it's a show vehicle or something that you don't want to contact, then you wouldn't probably use some kind of drying cloth because you want to minimize kind of rough contact. Car like this we're looking for sale, a nice drying cloth, 10 to 15 pounds will buy you a good one. They last ages. When you're washing them, just be careful you don't put them on a washing machine with any other clothes or any other detergent. If you need to, use non-bio and a low temp, otherwise you melt the fibers. They are quite delicate, but you can wash them. I tend to just throw them in by themselves with a cool wash and then dry them on the line, keep them dry. Let's get to it. Alrighty, so our paint work has been washed, cleaned, sealed and dried. Glass and so on hasn't been treated, but I will do that, but you don't need to see that because you will have been able to see me treat glass in a previous video. The step again that I want to show just for 2 seconds to highlight is the difference of a slicked tyre. So this is probably the best wheel to show it on. It has started to dry nicely. Compared to previously, we'll see that whole tyre was brown initially, where now it's starting to look more black. You'll still have a bit of it in here, but you're not going to touch the tread. We're then going to treat it with our cleaner. I mentioned before that we have our little hockey puck, and today we're going to use the Auto Glim High Performance Tyre Gel. Let's get it on. One tyre done. Hopefully you can see the difference in the camera there. Tyre has that permanent slick look. Again, we're not trying to kind of hide anything. What we're trying to do is give the car's best chance to look as clean as it does. And when a prospective buyer comes, the first thing I look at is the tyres. I look for tread and I go, oh, actually that tyre looks in great condition too. And then the little hubcaps are sitting clean. Let's get on to the rest of them. On to the interior. So, interior's nothing to write home about. It's kind of standard family car. Bit of kind of daily leaves, stones, bit of dust. Let's look back to the context of what we're doing here today, folks. We're not creating a show and shine. We're looking to prep the car and get it sitting right for cleaning. When it comes to seats, there's two avenues. People use wet vacs, which are great, but also there's been cases in the past where people will attack a seat with a wet vac, absolutely soak it. What's inside a seat? Foam and sponge. So it absolutely gets soaked. It'll take days and days and days to dry. Alternatively as well, they don't dry properly and then you get that damp smell. So my school of thinking is always when it comes to something like this, I would use like a seat cleaner, seat treatment, and then step back and let it do its best. I don't go mad on seats. A vacuum will take a lot of it out. Apart from that, we're just going to go at it with our vacuum. We're then going to go at it with our trim interior cleaner, vacuum out the boot, do the mats, bits and pieces, and then treat the dash. We're just trying to give it the impression of a nice car that has been looked after, which it has. Been serviced and now it's ready for its new owner. Let's get cleaning. Alright, so this is nothing revolutionary at this point. The interior was, as I'd mentioned in this video, a little bit scruffy, but just general family wear and tear, leaves, stones, the old sweetie wrapper. So through this section, we're just working our vacuum with that smaller nozzle. The reason I use a smaller nozzle is because it's narrow, the way the pressure works, it just kind of increases the suction power of the vacuum. And I'm just working all the corners. Now, the thing you'll say is once the vehicle gets to kind of 80,000-90,000 miles, you're never ever going to get the seats and especially the footwells as new. So it's about also managing expectations of the customer, but also then the prospective buyer. They're going to look at this car and go, an effort has been made. And that's the whole point, folks. Whenever you're working on a vehicle like this, it is just to make sure that if someone's coming to buy it, they go, oh, actually an effort's been made. And again, they can add a little bit to themselves. They can organise a valet or they can vacuum it themselves. So you can see here, I'm just working along the seat creases, the little areas that catch crumbs. And then in a moment, I'm going to hit it with our enzyme cleaner. Handy little brush. People usually use it for like banisters and stuff, but in the car, it's worth its weight in gold for getting into the little vents, door lines, switch gear. And because it's very soft, you're not going to damage or scratch anything. I would even use something like this if I can jump in and without killing myself. For the likes of center console. We will treat this with a chemical at the end, like a nice kind of cleaner, but see, for getting the initial dust off, it is worth its weight in gold. And also because it is part of the vacuum, we're not just moving the dust about, we're actually removing it too. And whether or not they realize this is the perfect size for getting in the cup holders. And their surrounding switchgear. Again, this is just a pre-sale valet today. It's not a car show and shine, so a lot of it is going to be surface level cleaning, and then it's up to the new owner whenever they bat what way they want to look after the car. But I'm just going to keep going here. So we're slowly getting with the interior. We're now on to the interior trim. I haven't done the interior glass yet, so it can just spray directly onto the dash. I'd say before in one of my other videos, you always do trims first, glass last. Nothing overly complicated about the stage. Everything's been vacuumed, everything's dust free, and now we're just going over the interior with a little microfiber, and there is a little bit of trim dressing on it. Again, I use AKM stuff. There's lots of variations out there. £7 to £10 gets you a decent one. The things that you really want to focus on, again, you'll see I'm spraying on the cloth rather than the plastic, is door sills, especially if you're selling a car. Like, I'm going to be cleaning this in a little second, but you think about someone stepping into the car, going to buy it. The first thing's going to catch your eye is this area, this area, this area. There has been a previous accident with paint on these seats, so unfortunately that's not going to come out, but the owner's kind of happy enough with that. As long as it's clean, hygienic, it is going to be a used car, it's going to be on the cheaper end of the budget scale, but you want it to be hygienic. You want someone to get in and go, oh, it smells fresh. I could see myself driving this rather than getting in and going, ugh, I'm going to need to valet this. I'm going to keep going. Interior's starting to look good, all dust free and has been nicely treated. Again, if you're looking to sell a car, advice from a visual point of view, and it is only a few pounds, is second hand mats do tend to wear very fast. So you want to look at maybe invest in a cheap set of brand new mats. And if your number plate is worn, a new number plate, two little tricks of the trade. People get in, nice fresh number plate, and mats make a massive difference. No matter how much I vacuum these mats, they're still going to look used. Just the nature of mat with wear. Glass, I'm going to use a simple glass cleaner here. You're going to see I didn't add a huge amount there because you can always add more, but you don't want to add too much or it'll smear and then you're in for a world of hurt. Something that you may not also know is that nobody likes cleaning glass, and if you do, you're an absolute psycho, because it's one of them jobs that is never fully perfect. I'm using a fisheye cloth here, which is probably the best kind of cloth you can use, but still, you're always going to have a few bits and pieces left. I'm going to stop filming this so I can do a good job of it, and I'll show you the after. It's almost as if there's no glass there, and that's a big telltale, guys. Whenever you can close the door and the glass looks like it doesn't exist, and even into the mirrors, that's how you know you've done a good job. Things that often people miss: mirrors, rear view mirror. No point having lovely clear glass here and a stinking mirror, and your dash clocks, because again, it's the things that you look at, it's the things that you touch. Steering wheel clean, glass clock clean, rear view mirror clean, side and mirror glass clean. That's how you do glass. Don't spend a lot of money on glass cleaner. Try and find one with a high isopropic alcohol count. That reduces smearing. And with any valet, whenever you think you're about 80% there, you're about 40% there. So you do your final walk around as if you are the customer, as if it's your own car. So I could go, oh yes, I'm pretty much there. Okay, well, these still need cleaned. The mats could go over at least once or twice more. They are second-hand mats. Back seats came up actually brilliantly. I'm really pleased with them. As I said, there was wee paint spill previously. Boot glass and the boot mats are done. And apart from that, guys, a few little finishing pieces on the interior. Exterior is looking as good as it will. Hopefully we're getting that gleam. I'm not sure how great the cameras are picking up in this light, but I'm going to finish our last few bits and pieces. Mats another time, go over them at least once or twice more. Last little finishing bits and pieces, make sure no dust has been missed, and I will let the customer see. Been a long enough morning, but we're pretty much there. I'm going to do a quick walk around the car for you now, and then finish with a guide to how to take some photos. I'll probably create a bit of a short for that as well. But car, in terms of this, is going to be an entry-level car for someone advertised locally, and it's turned out absolutely brilliant. Paintwork, we've got that kind of gleam that we were hoping for. Hubcaps and tires sitting really nice and fresh. Walking around the back of the car is actually remarkably clean for its year and for the mileage. But the big wins are interior. This was a kid lived in car, and hopefully you can see interior wise it's come up really, really well without absolutely drenching the seats. Look into the cabin, absolutely lovely. All the touch points have been cleaned and dressed as well. And we're going to do some photos, so let's do a bit of a photo guide. Quick guide for photos. Think about yourself as a buyer, you want to see all the key points that worry you, all the points that can be marked, and if your car is clean, you want them to stand out from the rest of the crowd. So this car's paintwork is its kind of plus point. So photographs, we're going to go one from here to cover that bumper area. We're going to show wheels, show that they're hubcaps with good tires. We're then going to walk around and we're going to take one from this angle, because again, at price point, this is a trouble area here, and these bumpers are completely unmarked. We're going to then take a photo, arch line, and then we will also take a photo of front arch. The reason for that is a little bit of detail. Mark 6 Golfs are known for their front arches rotten, so we're going to tell the owner to put that in advert that the boot, or that the arch is clean. Talking about boot, they can also rot here. This one isn't, so we're going to take one from the back. We're going to take one from the boot, showing that the boot carpet's there and also the parcel shelf. We're going to take one from this angle, showing this bumper and this wheel arch. We're going to take one from this angle, showing front corner, passenger side, and as well. Then interior, you don't need to go OTT with interior, like show like glamour shots, like 75 shots. You want one of the open door, showing what the customer or what the potential buyer will see. You want then one of the back seats to show that they haven't been on fire. Ideally, you want to jump into the vehicle. You want to start the vehicle, and then you want to take one like this, and it will show the potential buyer that there's no warning lights, and also then they can confirm the mileage. And if you're really fancy, you could do one like that as well. Or if you're really fancy, you could do one like this. I'm going to then put the photos I take today at the end of this video to give you a bit of a steer, and also do a short. If you want a seller's guide on how to sell a car, let me know in the comments and I will also do that. But that is our little Mark 6 1.6 petrol 5-door Golf finished today. Hopefully you've enjoyed this short little video. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to say it because I always forget, please hit the like and subscribe and the notifications bell. It always helps if you share this video, it helps even further, and any comments too. Thank you so much for watching. This has been a 1.6 Golf, and you've been watching me, D Murphy, at Details. Just a little note to finish off this video. So the owner of this car actually came back to me a few days after I'd finished this. Well, it wasn't really a detail, more of an up-close valet, that they had managed to sell the car in 2 days. So they'd advertised it on the Friday and it was gone by the Sunday afternoon. But the thing that pleased them was, from a conversation after myself, they had considered selling the vehicle for what I thought was much too little, and they actually got £800 more than what they originally had hoped to get for the car. And it was down to purely the history of the vehicle, but also how well it was presented, not only in the photos, the write-up, and also how clean it was. So the proof's in the pudding. Take a little bit of time, get your car clean, photograph it well, and it will sell for good money. Thanks for watching.